I used to be stuck and glued to the combine, like all this stuff. When we had a top 10 or top 15 pick, I wanted to see what was going on with the combine. Now it's like, okay, I'll catch some of it. And also probably looking at the middle tier type guys. The second and third rounds, the picks we kind of stockpiling. The ones we've kind of hit on at least. But what I want to ask you, JD, with the combine being here, and you got a lot of guys who are going to try to put themselves on the radars, and move themselves up on draft boards. Based on the Chiefs' needs, and as we watch the combine this weekend, what do you think are the three position groups that fans should be keeping an eye on when they watch the combine this weekend?
Three position groups that fans should be keeping an eye on. Okay. So it's pretty much kind of the same for me. I've talked about our needs. Our top needs for me, as I assess it, is defensive line. Okay. It can be defensive tackle, defensive end is another one. Pass rush guy is another thing that we need. And maybe the third, and we're still speculating, maybe another wide receiver. Okay. So I would say those three more so than anything else. So you got two guys on defense, one on offense, kind of keeping your eye on. That's the pulse that I'm kind of looking at. That's I'm saying I need more than anything else, because then we know this offseason what we're looking at. Who's not going to be here, who may not be here as wide receiver in that position. And so if you get a guy kind of in a high draft pick, kind of guy that could come in and start right now and compete right now, that may be a guy that you need. But he's got to be almost a no-miss guy. If you get him, you got to make sure he's a no-miss kind of dude.
Yeah, and one thing I read that they said a lot of teams are going to try to, they're going to try to come in with those to get that 31st pick, the last pick of the first round, because they can potentially get that fifth-year option on whatever it is. Let's say a team wants to trade back and get a quarterback at the end of that round. We might get multiple seconds, maybe an extra second, an extra third. Then we kind of can stockpile those middle tier picks. And with, obviously DT, I agree with you. I think DT, edge rush, and I want to, I guess.
I know where you're going. I already know where you're going. Now I thought about this, but go ahead.
I'm gonna go tight end for my third one.
Okay. I didn't know where you were going.
Where'd you think I was going?
Thought you was gonna go O-line, tackle.
Yeah, I'm assuming based on the reports, we're gonna sign this long-term deal. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. But yeah, the tackle probably be. It would be right up there to me. I think if we don't, let's say we do, give the tag or sign him Orlando Brown for a long-term deal, still need that right tackle spot to be figured out. So.
You need a guy, and if you're getting multiple, picks, hey, it wouldn't be a bad pick. The two guys we talked about, Ohio State. Those guys could come in and definitely play. You could develop those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of bad thinking. But tight end, hey, I'm not opposed to that. I wouldn't personally. There's some good tight ends, okay. And what I'm gonna do, man? Look, I'm gonna give my guys some love, okay. Guys that I coach. You see us right here, NFL Collegiate Bowl, right? I know everybody was talking about my man, this is the nephew of why can't I think of his name right now?
The tight end?
Yes. He just ran a 4.5. Who your brother was talking about?
The dude from Oregon State.
Yes. Yeah, right. And I was just like, oh, okay. He ain't the first round pick to me. All right. Yeah, he runs fast.
Musgrave.
So it's Bill's, nephew. I like Bill. Bill's, great guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's Musgrave's his nephew. If I'm not mistaken, it's his nephew. And so he's got that whole understanding of, how the NFL works, I'm sure, learning from his uncle. But he can run a 4.5. The thing is, I'm looking at his longevity. I don't like how many games he's missed over the years and I don't know about the durability. That's a big red flag. It's a big red flag for any team. I'm just going to be honest here. This is my evaluation because I've worked the combine before and I know exactly how guys are being evaluated. And so teams, if you're going to take a chance on it, know what you're taking a chance on, okay? This guy's over getting hurt in college is going to, get into the NFL. And this is no disparaging thing against him. I'm just saying how they base it. But look, I had 6 guys that I worked with out there that could come in on any team, the Chiefs, and be that guy. So I had Ben Sims, okay? I had Jaleel Billingsley, okay? That was at Alabama, went to Texas. Ben was at Baylor. I have Brady Russell, played at Colorado. Brady was recording more of the H-back. He can kind of do it all. I love his style because he can block. All these guys can block. Shoot, Noah Grindorf, he's another guy. North Dakota, incredible. Big guy. Do it all. Michael Zeke, played at UCLA. Michael, athletic, catch the football, will block, put his nose in there. Cal Patterson, Air Force. These guys, when I'm telling you, like stellar guys that I know when I'm sitting there and I'm watching them, I told them, y'all guys have the ability to play on an NFL football team. Period. I know that. And I'm looking at them. I know their mindset, just kind of talking to them, getting them ready, see where they was at. And so, it's a process. It's a tedious process from when you get finished with college to, getting drafted. I think a couple of guys at the combine. But tight end wise, these guys right here, they can absolutely play. I would love to have any of these guys on the Chiefs. Believe me. They got my stamp of approval. They do. So we can bring up a whole lot of different names, but like I said, I gotta give my guys some love, man. They were incredible dudes, incredible guys. Just to be around, talk to them, had a ball, had a blast with them.
And also, you can tell, obviously some of these guys are names to us, right? We just look at their stats and paper. You can obviously you can feel the love and some of what the teams are doing at the combine, right? We're interviewing these guys and having face to face with these guys. They can tell. I think I watched, who was it? It was Hugh Jackson a couple of years ago talking about how like he could tell within the first 10 to 15 seconds of a play how much a player loves the game by his first 10 to 15 seconds. It's kind of like a job interview, really. They can, obviously you know about that stuff, but like with coaches, but like, yeah, you can place a story behind the guys you got to coach. And the one guy it said Billingsley from Texas.
Yeah.
He's one that's I've seen. He's been flying off draft boards and stuff. They have him as a anywhere from like a 3rd to 5th round pick, as far as I've seen experts have it. But
Jaleel can run any route, catch any football. Smart kid, understands the game. And he's a baller. He'll make plays. That's the thing about it. He can make plays. He's a guy like how he was kind of wide receiver transition into a tight end. But he loves the spacing, man. Like he's just not matchup nightmare. All these guys are every single one of them, And the thing is, I kind of tested them. I wanted to see what they can do. I wanted to see how they can transition to the NFL, running different routes. And so, all those guys did a tremendous job. Every single one of them. So, I wish them all, but the best. But these guys, every single one of them could play in the NFL. But like you said, if guys are hungry or ready to get into the NFL. That whole week, I evaluated tons of guys, offensive line, D-line, linebackers. You're watching them in the game. You see what they can do, how they move, how they respond, to things maybe not going right or going great for them. And so that's big. That's huge for a team. So yeah, because some guys, when you go into this part of your journey. What you got to remove yourself, you got to keep your confidence, but make sure it's not, your ego's the way, because you start thinking like, man, look, I'm the best. Like, look, you start getting into the NFL, you got to realize these guys are better than you. They've already been there. And I told him, man, when you sit there talking about taking food off a guy's table, that's a serious business. Like Pacheco was talking about, I'm going to take a grown man's job. Well, shoot, you better back it up when you're talking about it, because that's what you're going to have to do, right? That's what you're going to have to do. So, he came in, he toiling away. He did it. Took some favor. Things happen situationally, but
yeah, hey, we saw what he did with Ronald Jones. We moved Ronald Jones to the inactive list.
Yeah. Shoot, hey, you make a guy non-existent.
But so you had DT, DN, and receiver. The reason why I had tight end over receivers because obviously everyone's talking about the the Travis Kelce succession plan. Obviously, to have the guy come in and from based on what I've read, this tight end class. I feel like they say this every year. Oh, this tight end class is the best. Like, every year, whatever position class is the best we've seen. I remember last year they talked about how the edge rush class is probably one of the deepest we've seen in such a long time. That's exactly what I'm hearing this year about this one too. So it's like, I don't know, but tight ends, they say it's a deeper class than the receiver class. There's more top end talent with the tight end class than there is with kind of receiver. Like, yeah, there's gonna be teams that are obviously gonna, they're gonna draft a receiver, maybe overdraft a receiver just to have one in the first 2 rounds. But like 2 years ago's draft class, those guys would be third or fourth round guys. Whereas this year, a lot of these guys are gonna be, teams are gonna be pressured to draft in some of these guys because they need to fill a need. Whereas tight ends, like you mentioned, alone with the guys you coached, on top of the other guys that everyone's raving about between the Notre Dame, Michael Meyer, Dalton Kincaid from Utah, Musgrave, Tucker Crafts. Tucker Crafts, another one too. The North Dakota State or South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, whichever school that is.
Yeah, so yeah,
I forget which Dakota that is, but yeah, that people are raving about all these guys. Even the Iowa guy, Laporta, Iowa, they have a long line of successful tight ends coming out of that. So that's like a tight end factory.
Yeah, look, the reality is, Travis Kelce is a 1 in a million talent.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a Hall of Fame tight end. Okay. You hitting a guy, get a guy like him, you're just no replacing him. Just not. Right. You're just hoping the guy produces half of what he's been able to do. Okay. So that's the reality of it. That's the reality. And so any of those guys are able to come in because it's just not just, it's the rapport he has with Patrick. Right? That's what you try to establish that. That's, man, when you're talking about that's your guy, that is your guy. And so hopefully this is down the road. You don't have to worry about, down the road for these things. But hey, you got to get prepared because you never know, right?
I mean, let's say, okay, Kelce is getting up there, but you say you have 3 to 5 years with him, right?
Yes.
3 to 5 years of Kelce, being top at his position, which I think he has potential of doing that. He's had knock on wood, he's had no major injuries of anything. He's pretty healthy. He's pretty much his entire career. Let's say you draft, let's say we move up or one of these top guys falls to us, 31st pick. Yeah. You have that 5th year option with this guy with his first round pick. So you have 5 years of pretty much it takes us to the potential end of Kelce's career 5 years from now. And that's, that's what I don't even know that how will that make Kelce 5 years from now? That's, let's see.
So, well, I'll say this. Okay. So I wouldn't bank on a guy like it now. We don't know what he's going to be able to do. Shoot, I would maybe even look at free agency for a guy possibly coming here that knows the business or what all he needs to do. Kind of got that, a little bit a good understanding about how to get open, finding holes, finding windows. That's a different guy than the guy coming out of college. Okay. And the reason I say that, and obviously you're going to, in the argument with my man down there with the Falcons, okay, he hadn't transcended to the guy that you was expecting to be, right? Injuries, obviously the quarterbacks are very, very important. Is it going to be a different guy somewhere else? Maybe, possibly. Ingram is a guy like, he gets down to Jacksonville, he looked like a different guy, okay? He wasn't that guy up in New York where they wanted him to be. Didn't quite pan out that way. Get to Jacksonville, different guy. But a guy like that, like I said, you could get maybe a dude like that in free agency, younger guy, possibly a little bit later. But I wouldn't bank on a guy tight end coming in right now to say, okay, he's an heir apparent to Travis Kelce, right? Noah Gray will fit that. He's fitting that mold already. That's how I look at it. Yeah, you get another guy to support that, no doubt. You could do that. But high pick, I wouldn't. That's just me.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, unless we really love Dalton Kincaid is the one everyone talks about right now as it's pretty much the top tight ends in the draft class are Kincaid and Meyer based on all the experts, and everyone's saying they're going to go top 15 type thing. If for whatever reason we are in love with one of these guys, if we do that, you have the 5 year plan, and pretty much they overlap with each other. You have Kelce kind of teaching him the ways, whatever. But you're right, you can't just You can't make it Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Hey. Oh yeah, he looks good. Move on. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, you just you don't want it. Nope. We got a bigger fish to fry right now. So
to that point, I mean, yeah, tight end, receiver, those I think we say top three, but at least for me, the tight ends like it goes DT, DN, and then tight end. I mean, it's not even close. The third one on there.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.